Greg Michlig here, President and CEO at CUInsight.com. And on this episode of Three Questions, it's a pleasure to welcome Kevin Cummer, Director of Life Product Management at TruStage. Kevin, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Greg. It's a pleasure to join you.
All right, I am sure everyone is eager to hear your valuable insights, so let's get to those three questions. So, why is life insurance important for credit union members?
Yeah, Greg, when you think about it, life insurance is really important because it can help to provide for those who depend on you when you're no longer here. And that's a hard topic to talk about. It's hard to think about. None of us like to think about that, but the reality is that by purchasing life insurance, you can help make sure your children, your partner, your parents, other loved ones are supported financially if you pass away while that policy is in place. So we often like to talk about, the real importance of it is it can provide peace of mind for families to know that, hey, if something unexpected were to happen to me, my family's taken care of. That can take a real burden off. Another way we like to think about it as well is, if you put a real world example around it, I'm sure all of us have seen either, on social media or on the news stories of, someone who's lost unexpectedly and the family is going through a GoFundMe to try to raise money to pay for the funeral, to provide for things. Life insurance is a proactive way to make sure you don't have to go to that GoFundMe when those things happen. And so that's why really the value that we see in life insurance at TruStage.
Yeah, those are all really good points. And, with that, when you're thinking about that, what are some of the barriers that are stopping credit union members from actually going ahead and getting life insurance coverage?
Yeah, it's a great question. LIMRA does an annual study called their annual insurance barometer, and there's a lot of great data in there. They really look at the life insurance industry and, what are people buying and what's getting in the way. Their most recent survey, which came out earlier this year, shows that only 51% of consumers have life insurance. And that's a rate that's actually been declining over the last several years. And that's concerning. So why don't more people have life insurance? To your question, there's really four key reasons that were highlighted in the LIMRA data. First, people think it's too expensive. And many times, most of the time, frankly, that's a misconception. People are surveyed and asked to say, what they think it would cost to get life insurance coverage. And that a lot of times they're two, three, four, five times as much as the actual cost. So, at TruStage, one of the things that we try to do is we're really geared towards the middle market consumer, which is obviously the sweet spot of credit unions, household incomes between 55,000 and 160,000. And we really try to take a budget first approach. We don't focus on you need to have this amount of life insurance, but we really look at what can you afford. And so really try to start from where are you as a consumer. The second reason they talked about is other financial priorities. I mean, we hear about it all the time right now in this economic environment. Consumers are really feeling strapped. And so they're often putting other financial needs ahead of life insurance. And again, that's a reason we really try to take that budget first approach and try to say, hey, it's probably easier than you realize maybe to fit this in, as long as you know what do you have room in your budget for. A third reason we see that people might not have life insurance is they aren't sure how much they need or what type to buy. And so we really have our call center agents are really trained to ask questions and help guide the consumer through that process. And for those consumers who want to navigate the process on their own through our website, we've got a lot of educational resources out there that are available. So for those credit union members who are affiliated with TruStage, there's opportunity, a lot of information out there to really break it down, explain the different types of life insurance and what might be the best fit for them. The fourth reason that we see is simply procrastination. People feel like, you know what, I'm fine right now. I don't need it. I can take care of that later. And the other aspect that comes into procrastination is people think, oh, there's a medical exam. There's going to be a lot of hurdles. It's going to be a long time before I find out if I'm approved or not. And we've really tried to simplify that process at TruStage. We've brought in a lot of ability to use automation and data to provide an instant decision to the consumer while they're on the phone with a call center rep or while they're online to know if they're approved or declined. And so really trying to break down those barriers and make it as simple and as easy to process, just as simple as if they go online to buy something at Amazon, for example. So that's really, what we're trying to do to break down some of those barriers.
Yeah, when you said the 51%, that was a little surprising, but then you walked through all those reasons why, and it makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
It's interesting from the consumer perspective, but then how can life insurance access for members benefit credit unions?
Yeah, yeah. So we think there's several ways that it can be beneficial for credit unions. So one is, we know that credit unions are challenged right now. Loan growth is down. While normally, loans are growing at about 7% in the long run, right now we're sitting between 4 and 5%. So that obviously challenges the income statement for credit unions. Working with us, providing life insurance to your members can provide non-interest income to help offset some of that loan loss. So we do, if your members come buy through us, we're going to pay the credit union some non-interest income to help in those situations. Another aspect is simply putting their members in better financial position in the event of loss. So if something does happen, and they have a mortgage on the home, for example, through the credit union, or they have other loans through the credit union, they're in better position to be able to keep up with those, to continue the payments, to pay those off. So that's a better, a benefit for credit unions. And finally, and I think this is sort of a hidden benefit in a lot of ways, but I think it really can position the credit union as an all-in solutions provider for their members' financial needs. It's an additional way that credit unions can just really deepen that relationship with their members to know that, hey, my credit union is here. Whatever my needs are, they've got a way to help me along the way. And that's a mutually beneficial thing. We see the benefit of the trust that credit union members have in their credit unions and our marketing campaigns and what we do there. But we also think that if they buy through TruStage, we're going to take care of their members, make sure that they're taken care of, no different than if their credit union was taking care of them themselves, and make sure that their members, have a quality experience. So all of those we think are reasons that credit unions can really benefit from their members having life insurance through TruStage.
Yeah. Very good. Just another layer of people helping people, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh, well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you joining me on this episode of Three Questions. It's been a pleasure to connect with you.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity, Greg. Thanks so much.
And a final thank you to all who tuned in for this episode of Three Questions. We'll see you next time.